sometimes you gotta forage in the city. Yeah. You want to buy in bulk. So 6, 8, 10. But I'm not gonna be in anybody else's yard, and I don't think you should be either. I'm gonna get creative here. Hi you guys, welcome back. Get on up in here, because today we're going to be going foraging for a beautiful arrangement. Now, foraging, we're not going out to a forest, we're not going out to the woods, and we're definitely not pulling over on the side of the highway to see what type of beautiful things that we can find to save money in our arrangements. I live in a small suburban town. I live in the St. Louis region. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to come outside and I'm going to forage my neighborhood, meaning my yard. I'm not going to be in anybody else's yard, and I don't think you should be either. But my neighbors have this beautiful birch tree. Matter of fact, let me see if I find, let me see. Okay. All right, perfect example. Can you guys see this? So this is from my neighbor's birch tree. Here, let me get up close so you can see it. You definitely can see it up against the pink here. But my neighbor has this beautiful birch tree, and I love it because the way that the stems are, and luckily for me, their stems, depending on the way that the wind is blowing, it blows in my yard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be foraging my front garden here, and I'm going to get some stems, and we're going to make a beautiful arrangement. And when we get done, if it's not your style to come in and use natural orientation things, then you might not love it, but I can assure you that it's definitely going to be beautiful. So let's get started.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time.
We did not have to go far to find anything, and as I'm looking, I'm still even seeing more pieces of birch here. Some of them have the leaves on it. That's fine, because we'll just go in and we'll defoliate the birch here. So the type of birch that they have a river birch, and it's very beautiful. It's multi-trunked, you all, and I just love it. It's just the perfect addition to any garden, and I love it because it's almost like a borrowed landscape from their garden to mine, because my house is right there. So definitely beautiful. We're going to head inside now, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the arrangement together. I mean, you can see this one is as tall as me. Now I'm 6'5", you guys. So you can definitely see the type of treasures in the scale that you can actually do if you're doing like a real big, huge arrangement. Like I just did a large, huge arrangement for my girlfriend who was selling her home. And you guys, stems like these are perfect because it gives you the height. You get about maybe 3 stems like this, and then some smaller stems around the base of it. You guys, it can definitely give you a beautiful arrangement. So let's go ahead and let's start putting this arrangement together, because I'm very excited. I'm going to be using some wintergreens for this arrangement. I'm going to soak my wintergreens. That way I'm going to get longevity out of my wintergreens. Very simple. All you need is some water. Let them soak in. It's preferable to let them soak in overnight. If you start to see that your wintergreens are starting to look a little bit wilted, what you can do is you can take the arrangement down, or if you have an entire reef, you can pull the reef down. You can take off the pine cones, anything decorative that you added, flop it in some water, and then you'll start to see that your wintergreens are going to rejuvenate. For my arrangements, I go for more of a Christmas look, but for the majority of my arrangements, I like to go for more of a winter look. That way my arrangement can stretch from the winter time into the early spring, late winter, and then I'll start doing my early spring arrangements or my late winter arrangement. You know, you can't reveal too much. So we used nothing new in this arrangement, or shall I say, the only thing that was bought this season were 1, the wintergreen, 2, the magnolias, but I did not buy them for that project. They were actually left over from some beautiful containers that are in different areas of my garden. My birch logs I have on hand, I collect those from year to year. The big beautiful pine cones that you see, you all, I also collect those pine cones from year to year. So I have a lot of things that I can actually use to make containers in my garden. The birch stems that we use to give us that aerial effect for the arrangement, that came from my neighbor's tree, and I'm so glad that they landed on my property. We're losing light, but I'm so excited because I have a lot of things that I want to get done tomorrow. So early in the morning, we're definitely going to hop up and we're going to get started. Let me know down in the comments what you think about that beautiful wintertime arrangement. Sometimes you got to forage in the city. Yeah. Free 99. Free 99. Free 99. So I'm out here working on my lime. Now, limes are not deciduous trees. Limes hold on to their leaves throughout the winter time. So my lime tree has been going through a little bit of a struggle. This is sometimes what happens when you're trying to move those plants where the environment is meant to be outside and you're bringing it inside. So I came out, and as I'm spraying on this plant, you guys, you can see the leaves just dropping. Some of the leaves look a lot better, but this plant has defoliated a lot. And when I shake this, you guys, it's like a ton of leaves. So I am not going to throw in the bag just yet. I'm going to continue to spray. I'm going to keep the same regimen. Now, if the leaves had already been dried out, I cannot expect for the leaves to just magically replace themselves. So some leaf drop is normal, but I like to keep this watering can in this room, and even in the bucket of the watering can, you can see where there are nothing but leaves. So the lemon tree, however, is looking a lot better. The lemon tree does not have the type of leaf drop that the lime tree does. And I'm going to tell you what I think is the culprit to this situation. A few days after we came in, we sprayed this down, we watered it really well, I noticed that I came out here and it was literally so hot in here, guys. It was so hot, very uncomfortable, and I noticed that the temperature had gotten too hot. So for leaves that are already stressed, we definitely don't want to put it back in a fluctuating hot situation like that. So I'm going to work a little bit out here in my plant room, and I'm going to work on these trees real quick, and then we'll go ahead and we'll move on to the next thing. I'm going to give it another spray, and this is what you do until you rehab it. And even spraying, you guys, is making some of the leaves fall off. That's okay. If it's going to make it, it's going to make it. If not, it'll just be one of those plant losses. I'm saturating these like really, really good. guys, we're getting ready to make a beautiful floral arrangement. We're going to be using cut flowers. Look at this beautiful container, you guys. Look at that. It's very heavy. This is going to be our frog, and you guys, we are going to do a beautiful floral arrangement. Let's get started. I'm going to get creative here. Now, the bottom of this vase is hollow, but I want to use this. Now, I use this in my floral arrangements, but what I do is I take a small cup. I prepare my water. And then after I prepare my water, I go ahead, pour my water in there, plop it down inside of my vase here, my urn, my metal urn, okay? Now, you guys, very beautiful. And I might add a little bit more to it, I'm not sure. But we're going to make a beautiful arrangement. We're going to take this obelisk. This is going to be our frog here, okay? Going in with a tighter wire here. And that's because I don't want very much movement with my flowers here. So I'm going to add this in here. So a lot of times I'll put it in and then I'll fold it around, and be careful if you're doing this technique. If you try this technique, let me know. Glass, I have my water inside of that. I have my chicken wire, and then I have my obelisk, and I have my paddle wire to keep my obelisk in place. So now we'll go ahead and start placing the blooms. Turn this around, you can see that most of the flowers are here in the front, but in the back you can see some of our obelisk here, and this is going to be backed up against a wall, so we put most of our show in the front. You guys, if you're doing wintergreen containers, you can make this arrangement. Let's say if you wanted to go into the store and buy everything brand new, right? Now, you probably could get this total look for about 20 bucks if you already have a small obelisk on hand and an urn. You can't beat that. Seaside Serenade collection. This is Cape Lookout here, and it's by Monrovia. You guys, look at this beautiful fall color that it has. Monrovia sent me out 6 Seaside Serenade Cape Lookouts. I also went back to Sherwood's Forest because he had some on sale, and I snagged those up as well. But you guys, when I tell you, I'm so impressed. So what I did was I took the Seaside Serenade and I pulled it out of the garden while it was in bloom because I wanted to see what qualities was it going to give me in the fall time. Was it going to be similar to my other hydrangeas? Because I have a lot of hydrangeas in my garden. My mop heads, I have a blue mop head, I have a pink mop head, I have several mop heads in containers. But I was more so interested in what the Seaside Serenade was going to give me. And you guys, it definitely didn't disappoint. And I love the structure. You can see it's already putting on those blooms for next season. You can see that here. And so I am going to let this go into dormancy, but I'm going to slowly put it into dormancy. I'm very excited, and I can't wait to use these hydrangeas in my cuttings for my floral arrangements. Now, if you're going to be using your hydrangeas that's in your landscape for different floral arrangements, you want to buy in bulk. So 6, 8, 10, because if you think about it, depending on the volume of hydrangeas that you're going to be using or the volume of containers that you're going to be making or floral arrangements that you're going to be making. I say containers as far as you can take these, dry these, and use these in your fall and your winter arrangements. Can you imagine the beautiful white bloom on this? You let that dry. Of course, it's going to go a little bit deeper than what it is, but imagine using that right now in your holiday decor. Imagine using that if you cut it at the right time and those florets just age ever so beautifully on the tree, and then you cut it off, you guys, and hang them upside down so it keeps the beautiful mop head shape. It'll be absolutely amazing. So you guys, this hydrangea here, I'm still giving her water. So I just give her a little bit of water here. Not too much, just enough to let her know that she's still alive. I am keeping this closer to the door because I want this hydrangea to go into dormancy. Well, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get this hydrangea in its place. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.